Hello, students. It's Dr. Smith, and I just want to walk you through a few things that we are going to be working on this week. We are into week 12, November 8th through the 14th. It is a somewhat short week in a way, in that we have one day off in the middle kind of the week. So we do have November 11th off for Veterans Day, but otherwise your assignments are due as they are due throughout the week. So as we finish up the cause and effect analysis essay, you may have additional questions. If you do, then please feel free to reach out to me either through stopping by during office hours, or you can ask me to give you a call. You can ask for a one-on-one Zoom meeting. Just give me a couple of ranges of times and days that work for you. And as long as you let me know ahead of time, I can try and get you in very quickly and easily. If it is kind of like a quick emergency type thing, then obviously reach out to me via the Canvas email. Ask me to give you a call. I'll try and give you a call back just as soon as I possibly can. So any questions you have that can be answered through email, I'll try to as well. So as you continue working on your essays and on your work, don't forget to reach out, and don't forget also to reach out to the Writing Center. The Writing Center has tutoring hours that they have online, so you can also go to them and ask for additional help and feedback on your essays as well. Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of make myself a little bit scarcer and smaller here. I'm just going to kind of go down here. And just a little reminder, we have finished the peer review online of your Project 3 draft. That should have been finished by November the 5th. If you started a little bit late and made arrangements with your peers to finish out your peer review over the weekend, that's fine. Just make certain that you do get it done, and everyone peer reviews each other. With that in mind, just a couple of little reminders. You do have a sample essay here. You do have prior materials here to help you with your essay. Another sample argument essay. You have the MLA in-text parenthetical references, how to avoid plagiarism, how to take care of paragraph development and organizing your ideas and your thesis, the structure for the cause and effect essay. So if you need to go back to prior lessons and just kind of review in order to make certain that you are fulfilling the requirements of the assignment, then please go ahead and do that. Don't forget also that you are encouraged, when you have a major writing assignment, to download the original assignment handout. It's always under where it says new writing assignment. And then that has all of the instructions for what is going to be expected. So it's a good checklist to use, to be able to download it, have it at your side, double check and make certain that you have fulfilled all of the elements and requirements for that assignment. Okay. So I have been really excited, by the way, talking to many of you about your assignments as they have been developing. Some really great cause and effect topics, and I can't wait to see the final drafts. So keep up the really good work, maintain your focus, and give me the best possible work that you've done thus far this semester. Make it a really, really good submission if you can. So here we are. So the readings that you have for this week are kind of in part intended to do a little bit of grammar review as you finalize your cause and effect essay. This is based upon some things that I've noted in some of your prior essays. And everybody has different challenges, as we go along. So it's always good to kind of review things. So the grammar review exercises for this week actually focus on verb issues. So there is a quick interactive review of verb forms. There is a kind of a silly YouTube video. It's about 4 minutes long, called Get Your Verb On, but it's again kind of reviewing the different types of verbs and how they function in sentences. And it's just very helpful to see, and review how those kinds of verbs, whether they're helping verbs or linking verbs or regular action verbs, then it's helpful to kind of just review that and review how you want to make certain you conjugate your verbs within your text. Tense shift is also something that can be a problem for students sometimes. This is where, let's say you're using present tense and past tense in the same sentence or in the same paragraph. You want to try and be consistent about that. So there are some good examples of how that works, as again a review of things that you already know to a certain extent, but it's a really good practice review. So this is a PowerPoint lesson here. There's another PowerPoint lesson on subject and verb agreement, which really has to do with the subject agreeing with the verb. And again, these are things that you guys have learned before, but it's a good time to review. So if some of these lessons strike a chord with you, where you all realize, oh, wow, I haven't thought about that in a while, then use this opportunity when you get to that point where your essay is fully edited for content and organization and building your argument and supporting it well. Then take a little bit of time to look at the overall grammar of your essay, look at the spelling, the punctuation, all of that. And if you know that you have some issues with verb tenses and verb agreement, then go back and take a look at that. See what you can find on your own. And you'll be surprised at what you notice after possibly reviewing some of these lessons. Next, the CRAP test we have talked about in the past, but this is just kind of a quick review of the CRAP test. And that's the test that you put your sources to for credibility, accuracy, timeliness, that sort of thing. So essentially, it's just a nice way of reminding yourself to look at your sources, look at the purpose of your sources. Are your sources fulfilling the needs that you have for the kinds of credible evidence that you have? Is it providing good, strong academic evidence that would stand up to, fact checking? So, go ahead and use this as a review as well. And then the CRAP test worksheet can also be very helpful in just reevaluating your sources one more time. And you may discover that some of your sources that you've incorporated into your paper maybe are not as strong as you would like. Perhaps you have a little bit more time this week to find a better source. Or let's say you find a source that presents an opposing point of view. You can still incorporate that into your paper and present those opposing views and say, well, there are some sources that, claim the opposite of, what I've researched so far. Here are the, facts and evidence they present. Here is how accurate or credible this information appears to be in relation to the other sources which support my thesis. So you may find that there are some sources that oppose your point of view, and they present some fairly strong arguments. Or you may find some sources that present weaker arguments in relation to what you've found in other sources. So that's something that you can discuss as well. So it's one of those things where it's always good to discuss the supporting views and the opposing views and the facts and evidence that you find in each. Okay, other things. Once you have completed this, and as you are completing your essays, the due date for your cause and effect analysis essay has been extended to November 10th. And the reason I've done that is just to give you a little bit more flexibility. We have some flexibility in the schedule this week. So this gives you just a few more days to ponder, look over your draft one more time, maybe do another fine-tooth comb revision, maybe double check and make certain that you've revised your thesis and the organization of your ideas so that they all tie together well. Make certain that those causal relationships that you have established, have been well supported. All of those things you can kind of just take a little bit more time to look at. Because we do have Veterans Day off, if for some reason you do end up turning in your rough draft around the 11th, I am not going to be upset about that, and I won't take points off for that. So try to get it in by the 10th if you can. But if you don't get it in until the 11th, it's okay. All right. One other thing, as an application of the subject and verb agreement activity, there are some really good exercises under Grammar Bites. And if you go to Grammar Bites, you'll find a number of interactive tools and interactive lessons where you can choose a lot of different grammar problems to work on. Let's say that you want to review comma splices and run-ons again. There are some interactive exercises and lessons that you can partake of for free, and they're all available under Grammar Bites. This one, you don't have to go through all of the exercises. You can go through the ones that you want. The first 2 or 3 exercises are fairly basic. If they seem too easy for you, then I would skip over to maybe 4, 5, and 6 and go through those exercises instead. So as you find it useful to you, choose the exercises to work on that are useful to you. This is assigned, and it's expected that you will apply this to making corrections to subject and verb agreement in your essays, but I am not necessarily collecting anything on this yet. We will go over this again as we continue in the semester. Okay, so that's pretty much what is coming up this week. Next week, just to kind of give you a quick preview, next week you are going to be starting with your last writing assignment. That's a major one. So over the next couple of weeks after this week, you will be working on a persuasive appeals essay. This is going to be a smaller mini project, not quite as detailed as some of your other projects. So it will give you a little bit of a break there as we begin to review for finals. And then you have a handout called What is a Writing Portfolio? At the beginning of the semester and in your syllabus, I referred to the fact that you will be working on a writing portfolio at the end, where you will be pulling together revisions of your writing projects, and that you will pick a couple of writing projects in particular to revise for better grade. So this kind of gives you a preview and overview of that, and you will have some readings and materials on this as well. The week 12 materials are already available to you. The week 13 materials will be available to you starting tomorrow. So you will have weeks 12 and 13 available to you. So if you want to work ahead, take advantage of that Veterans Day off, you can work ahead a little bit as well. Okay, so with that in mind, a couple of other things to keep in mind at this point in the semester. Number one, try to keep yourself organized. I know that it can be challenging when you've got a lot of term papers and things that are coming up due around this time of year. Keep a student calendar. If you use a Google Calendar, that's great. If you use something else, then that's great. If you use a pen and paper type of calendar to keep yourself organized, that's fine as well. Try to block out sections of time that you will devote to your studies. So whether it's math or English, or your acting class, whatever it might be. Block out those portions of your time where you know you will need to spend some time studying, and plan for it. Plan for the time that you will need in order to complete your work by the due dates or before the due dates if you can. Whenever possible, try to work ahead in that regard. Another tip, when you work in your schedules for work and for obligations to family and school and time at class and so on, don't forget to also block in certain amounts of time for yourself. Block in some of that time on your calendar where you are going to have moments in time to take a breath. And that may seem really difficult right now, but it's important and it's essential. Allow yourself to get enough sleep. Make certain that you're eating right, and and are fueling your body and your brain well, so that you will be able to finish strong this semester. So just a few little tips here and there, I wish you well. I am here if you need me. There we go. I wish you well. I'm here if you need me. And keep up the good work, please. Thank you.